Happy Friday, everyone, and welcome to the third episode of Wisconsin Latino News Opinion Plus. Opinion Plus is a monthly series airing on Fridays. It's a space for our opinions, where we talk about current events and questions the Latino community is curious about. My name is Eric Ubelacher, reporter of Wisconsin Latino News. Today we are joined by Tim Schindler, co-executive director of Fundraising and Development, and Nicole Winters, Managing Director of Operations, both of whom are with Wisconsin Voices. Thank you both for joining us this week.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So either one of you can answer this first question, but to start things off, just give us a little bit of a rundown of what is Wisconsin Voices and what does it do for the state and the community?
So Wisconsin Voices is a grassroots non-for-profit organization that was built in 2010 to address issues with protecting democracy, getting out the vote, voter registration, voter education, and just all around engaging the community in their civil rights, understanding the election process, their right to vote, their right to be part civically in democracy across the state. And then, Nicole, did you have anything you wanted to add?
Just that it's built on the three pillars of protecting democracy, building community, and teaching advocacy.
And tell me a little bit about each of your backgrounds, how you got involved, why you thought it was important to start working with Wisconsin Voices.
Well, I'll let Nicole go first. I always ladies first.
I came actually from a legal field. I've worked in the legal field for a while, and I joined Wisconsin Voices in 2018. Started out as a manager. I didn't have this title I have now, but the work that Wisconsin Voices did when I first joined was just astounding. They were always out in the community with partners, doing the work, on the ground, knocking doors, talking with people, educating them on why it's important for their voice to be heard.
So I've been in this field for 28 years. So I've have ran non-for-profits, corporate projects in numerous states, and then government, and then came back to the non-for-profit sector is to make an impact. So when the opportunity came to come to Wisconsin Voices, when I saw the opportunity, what drove me towards coming to this organization was about making an impact in the community, making an impact in lives and giving people their voices back and educating them and really collaborating and partnering with our partners, but also residents in the community and really addressing the issues that they have. Because Wisconsin Voices is not top down when it comes to, what we do. Basically, everything that we do stems from what's going on in the community and their issues and their challenges. So we take our direction is based off the communities that we serve. So, and that's what excites me about what we do, because it's really a connection with the community, our partners, and really supporting their needs and helping to empower and incubate the grassroots not-for-profits that we partner with to help them be successful in working in their community and addressing the issues and challenges that they have in their community.
Yeah, of course. And kind of front and center on Wisconsin Voices website, it reads that you all work to give voice to the voiceless.
Right.
Why is that important? What does that mean to the field?
It's important because there are individuals that don't understand why their voice is important, and there are individuals that just won't use their voice for democracy. It's important because it makes a difference. It may not look that way, in the end result, but when you are out there expressing your voice, using your voice to fight for democracy, it does actually make a difference.
So, and I'm going to piggyback off of Nicole. So, Nicole hit all the great points, but I'm going to give you an example of why it's important in what we do. So, in the educational piece, so the census, I'll give you the context of the census. So, with the census, people don't realize why it's so important for them to give the information on the census. So, that census has more implications in the community than people understand. So, if they don't fill out the census, submit it in, that affects the amount of federal and state dollars going to their community. That affects the representation in their community. So that's part of the importance of getting out the word, educating them on why is this important to you and to your voice. And then as we see is a lot of people that we have worked with in youth primarily, they feel that their voice won't be heard. They don't feel that even if they get involved, it's going to make a difference. So like Nicole taught about, the education piece is key to them understand that, yes, your voice does make an impact. Your vote does make an impact, but getting them engaged from, the city, the county, the state and the federal level. And a lot of them don't understand what's the difference between an alderman and a county supervisor. Who do I go for what issue? So really empowering them and educating them on who do you go for what issue? How do you, if you want to propose changes in legislation, who do you go to for that? So that's a lot of the impact that we're trying to make. And that's why it's important to really get those voices heard.
Kind of on that same topic, why should Wisconsin Latinos in particular be paying attention to the work that you all do in the community?
Okay, can you say that again? Because my phone went crazy for a second.
No worries. Why should Wisconsin Latinos in particular be paying attention to the work that you all do?
Well,
I didn't get that. Could you try again?
Oh, okay, sorry. Well, with immigration issues and the right to vote and the right to be heard are key issues right now in the community. So if you look at bills that are right now in Madison, they're trying to restrict the rights of people to vote, take them off the polls. They're trying to restrict the rights to them to have access to services. And so in the Latino community, and especially with immigration, they're in a fight for their rights. They're for them being seen as equal in the community, and having their voices heard and true representation. So right now the representation is not there. There's very minimal representation, and even when you look at the redistricting of Milwaukee, they really don't have much representation in the redistricting of Milwaukee and even in the legislature. So that's why it's important for them to get their voices heard, because then if they unite in a collaboration and partnership and a coalition together as one, then their voices will be heard and change can happen to affect their communities.
Yeah, absolutely. Anything you wanted to add, Nicole?
No.
I was wondering, you touched on this in the beginning, the three-pronged approach that Wisconsin Voices kind of approaches these issues with our community voices matter, resident-led civic engagement, and advocacy in action. I was wondering, could either one of you break it down? Why do you approach these issues that way?
Want to go first, Nicole?
Sure. Protecting democracy. There are so many obstacles, and they're designed to navigate people away from voting, away from using their voice. So it's important that we protect that, because, as I said before, our voice matters. We have the right to use our voice, to vote, We have our right to use our voice, to say, yes, I agree with this. I don't agree with that. But in order for people to use their voice, we have to build community. We have to go into the communities and we have to build them up. We have to educate the people in the communities and let them know why they need to use their voice, that their voice is very important, and they should use it for a good cause.
So I'm going to piggyback off of Nicole. So I'm going to give examples. So we were the hub for the last election for monitoring numerous states across the country on the election protection and the rights of people to vote. So we were notified in one state in Arizona that people at the polls and the election commission were forcing Latinos to have to take a citizens test in order to vote, which is illegal. So a team that we had on the ground in Wisconsin and myself, we actually went in office and called the head of the elections to make sure that they were following the law of allowing them to vote and actually not having them do this citizenship test, because what they were doing is turning away voters, and they were telling them they didn't have a right to vote. So this is why the democracy component of Wisconsin is very key in educating the community, but also advocating on behalf of the community so they have that right to vote. So, you know, that was disturbing when we got all the feedback from that state and that specific, because it's that community is 85% Hispanic, Latino. And so for them to do a citizens test was illegal, but it turned away how many voters? It turned away how many voices? It turned away their representation, their right to have fair representation. So this is why it's important for us on all three pillars of our organization and connecting with the community and really empowering, lifting up the community to have their voices heard and educating them. Because, you know, a lot of them like, well, if I vote, it doesn't matter, but it does matter. And it's like Nicole said, educating them on that is the key to them gaining the strength and the inner passion themselves to continue to advocate for themselves.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I guess to kind of wrap things up here, I'd love to know a little bit about how Wisconsin Voices measures success.
So we measure success in different ways. We measure the success on the community understanding their civic rights and who to go to, by the community getting engaged in the issues in their community. And, you know, we do look at the voter turnout too. So we look to see if there's been an increase in voter turnout in their community. You know, their engagement in their community, if they're more engaged in their community, they have more ownership in their voice. So, you know, it's engagement. It's their engagement in not only voting, but in all the issues in their community. But, you know, the increased numbers of registrations and the increased number of people voting in that community. Nicole, did you have anything?
What was the question again? I'm sorry.
Just how Wisconsin Voices measure success.
I agree with Tim. It's the voter turnout is always a good way to measure success, but if our partners engage with a large number of individuals and they can educate them, talk to them and educate them on the importance of using their voice, I think that's the greatest measurement we could ever use.
And we track the number of engaged, educated. We have peer-to-peer texting that our partners use in their community. So to inform the community of the goings, what's going on, the issues out there, reminding them to, you know, when the election is coming up, where their polling places and all that. So We really work in collaboration with our partners that are on the ground in the community to help really give all the information and support that they need to address the issues and challenges in their community.
Mm-hmm. Well, great. Well, thank you both so much for joining us today and teaching us a little bit about your work. Appreciate the time.
Thank you for having us.
Join us next time for another episode of Wisconsin Opinion Plus. For more information about our discussion today, check out our web story on WILatinonews.com and follow us on Twitter at WILatinoNews. I'm Eric Ubelacher with Wisconsin Latino News Opinion Plus. See you next time.